Hello, people. I'm trying something different, and my brain keeps talking to me, which is a good thing, really, people. It's just some people might not be aware that your brain is talking to you. As I'm trying to figure out these ideas for quilts for my grandkids, also trying to figure out what'll be simple but pretty. And my mind keeps changing. Like right now, I went ahead and I cut a whole bunch of 6x6s. And there's several things you can do with that. So right now I'm going to just make a couple of coasters for my grandson. I'll have to tell him, hey man, you got to give me some of those back. But he has certain colors for his team. And he's got 3 different teams, but, and I guess I should, and he told me already, but I don't remember all that stuff because it's not my deal. But nevertheless, I know this one particular one was the colors he chose to begin with for his quilt. And then he said to throw in some white. I don't want to throw in white. I mean, I can see it. I see it everywhere, but white gets so dirty. It all probably gets dirty, but white shows it. So, I really don't know. But he got my experiments. He took 4 of them to begin with. And then when he came back, it seems like I gave him 2. Maybe I just gave him 1. The first ones he took had the terry cloth on the bottom. They were terry cloth tea towels, so they're not as thick as a terry cloth hand towel. But nevertheless, he did tell me that he likes my 6x6s better than the 5x5s because, you know, in case you got a big mug or something, or maybe a big cup, who knows? They have all these big gulp things these days. So, nothing I do is going to be perfect. I'm not a machine, although I am. And when I went to start sewing this as a coaster, I'm thinking, oh, I could take all of these that I've got pent together. I'll show you. I got a stack of them pent together, ready to go. And these are all double-sided, meaning they have quilt batting on both sides. So there's 2 layers of quilt batting and 2 layers of fabric. And they do make a nice coaster. But see, if I was to take in my design, I told you guys about one of the ones I saw, which is they're like little mug rugs, and then they sew them all together for a quilt. So I would do it totally different, and I wouldn't lose any of this material because my 6x6 square is going to end up being less than 5.5 inches square. Plus, I was thinking I might go to a bigger seam allowance. Some of them are doing 3/8 of an inch, and then, but what I started to say is these 6x6 squares could have an 8x8 backing. We could do it 2 different ways, really. And I've already started with my 6x6s because I figured they'd be good for a lot of things. Instead of 5x5 squares, that does make a small coaster. I'm using one, as a matter of fact. Okay, see? And actually, I put a pin in it because I'd lost my pin cushion. So they're not perfect. See, this has got a fatter seam allowance, and that's got a thin one. Plus, I was sewing with machines that were not good. I mean, in other words, it's not that they're not good. They just need to be tweaked by someone who knows what they're doing. My first machine all jammed up, and I started to tell you guys, but I didn't actually get it out. That before it actually jammed on me, I was sitting there thinking to myself, oh my, what would happen if that happened? What would I do? Well, guess what? Well, it's not very long after that it happened. And I have given myself such a headache over that machine and then my daughter's machine. Because, see, I switched from my machine, which I just got from a lady on Facebook Marketplace. But it jammed up. I imagine because it needed oil. And I put oil, and maybe it's unjammed by now, but maybe not. Because, I mean, I got the oil on it in the right places, and I let it do its thing. But I know that there was a third place, which was in the bobbin, which I did not do. But I could tell where the problem was. It was in the tension. And it could be that my thread is too thick, because it's a quilting thread. Not just that, it's 100% cotton. They got me all afraid to use polyester. However, I love polyester. Doesn't shrink. Don't got to worry about pre-washing it. It doesn't wrinkle, so you don't have to worry about ironing it. I mean, right there's two great things. But polyester is a byproduct of petroleum, which is oil, gas. I used to work with propane with my Papa Bear. There's just a lot of things we don't even realize when we do that. Okay, so I'm going to do a coaster or two for him because I know his colors, and why make him wait for a quilt when he can have a coaster right there with his colors. And then, yes, okay, I know I probably never finished anything I started. Meaning the different types of squares you can do. So I could do these individual mug rugs. And if I can get them to be perfect, then people can put them together and stitch them by hand. Or there's other ways. Quilt as you go. But the whole thing is, with a mug rug, you have, I mean, the best way, but I'm just not sure about it, is to have all three. Have a sandwich. So you put your beautiful material on the bottom, facing down, the good side facing out, and then you put in your quilt batting, and then you put in your cotton topping in the square. In other words, you're going to have an 8x8 backing and a 6x6 front and batting. Okay, then you're going to take that extra inch all the way around, and you're going to fold it in half, and then fold it in half again, and sew it as the binding. So, I mean, all depends on how you look at it, because there's different steps, you know, looking for the easiest thing. With a coaster, I do want it to be more absorbent, and probably a little bit more structure to it. Because those first ones I did was just 2 pieces of material, and they did not have batting on the inside. Very flimsy. I mean, they work, but I would not suggest doing that. I would suggest the batting in the middle. And even when you have one layer of batting, it just doesn't seem to be enough. But it's a heck of a lot better than what I did. Because my little first ones, they're in a box somewhere, but they're like these. The first ones have that little thin terry cloth on the back, okay? Here's a deer and a barn, an old tractor seat, and trees in blue and dark, and then I just put a solid black on the back. Okay, so that's the size of a 5x5 coaster that was sewn with a 1/4 inch. Okay, so here's Barnes. And on the back I put red. And these are nice, but I think, and he liked it better, the 6x6. So then I did a double-sided. Here's a deer down at the bottom, and then there's a couple of deer on the other side. And you can see my trim. And my trim will get better as I go. I think that doesn't look too bad. You know, the internet is a wonderful thing, but they sure got my number. Once they see what you're searching for, then they're always showing you something. But anyway, I tried to tell my daughter, see, these look pretty good. As far as my seam going around it. It's not perfect, but it is not bad. You can see it. Okay, when you can't really see it on this. That's a double-sided one. And then, but you can see my trim. That is straight. Pretty cool. All right, so just for example, I know I'm not perfect and I'm not getting my words across very good, but each one of these could be sewn together as individual little squares. They've got their backing, their padding. So that's batting and backing and the front. Plus it's all seamed in. So you could take, I mean, if you wanted to, you could take and put them together and then just do a stitch. And then that would pull out like that. Okay, so the ones I'm talking about doing now are the ones where that have an 8x8 on the back. And then this front right here has lost part of it. Part of its size. Let me see if I can show you one that's got the size before it has been sewn. I laid my love on you. It's all I want to do. Okay, so there. That's a lot bigger. Let's see. See, here's, you sew it like a pillow, you turn it inside out, and then you put a, what do you call that? Top stitch. Put a top stitch around it, okay? So here's the same. Well, let's see, I'll put it down here. So you can see how much space I lost in turning it inside out. I think it will be really neat. Okay, so then, thank you for following with me. I know I'm hard to follow. So you could take and choose whatever color do you want and put that frame around it. Be beautiful, actually. But what I was talking about as far as putting it together as a quilt, you would want the same. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to, excuse me. But you would. It would look really sharp to have the same backing on every piece. And then it frames. It turns around and it frames this, okay? Doesn't lose its size, and it actually, it's about the same size if it all works out right. It'll just give you, the back will come to the front and become the binding. So then if you took that, say we did red, then we could just stitch them all together, already finished. And so you could just make block after block after block as long as they're the same size, and then put them together later. That's wonderful. And so you could do black, or you could do brown, green, any of your favorite colors, you know. But I've got red, and I've got, well, actually I've cut up all my black. I've got to order some more. Can you see the little cows? They're showing them really small. So that has to be off in the distance, because believe me, Cows are not small. And here's another one. I haven't cut down the batting yet. So an old tractor. So people who, depending, you know, you can get materials that you love, whether it be with your ball team, but I can see that would be a good thing. So I'll have to figure out who the good ball teams are and make some coasters or something, placemats. See, the mug rug is like a cross between a coaster and a placemat. So you have it small. And I've already shown you what I started to do. And I don't know if I can find it. Ah, it's right over there. I should make the effort and go ahead and put it back on this. But I already decided and used the material, so I don't have it right now. Okay, it's upside down. So these are my 5x5 squares, okay? But I've decided to try my hand at a mug rug. Okay, and then there's a barn that kind of disappears. So I don't know if you can see it, okay? So if I could take red or black or brown, whatever color I want to, and put a backing on this, and then put a binding. It binds it. And I've got to get that done so I can show it. So if I wanted, that's just if I wanted, because I don't, I could take this with a backing on it and have it bound, and then I could have all my squares the same size. They wouldn't have to have the same thing in it. But I'm excited. I am excited, and let me tell you, I've been cutting and cutting and cutting material. So I want to hurry and do this one. Don't do anything in a hurry, but I want to hurry and get this coaster done so I can turn it inside out so I can show you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint any of you. I could not believe all the questions. So, I mean, I wonder if you just got me because I put sewing in there, you know, in the title. Or if you got me because I gave you one of my cards and this is like my latest videos. But I can see there's quite an interest in sewing. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this one turned around so I can show it to you. Now, I don't know which ball team it is. He has 3 teams, and they're all for Philadelphia, I believe. I was thinking Cowboys before because it's kind of close, that one color. But he's got a hockey team, a baseball team, and a football team. So, I mean, I could do coasters for each, and he could lay those out when he's having a party for the game or when he's rooting for his team. Okay, let's see if this will work. I have to get used to this machine. And I don't want to make it'll speed. I don't want it to speed. Okay, let me Somebody wanted to see what I was doing. Oh, I don't know if I can actually show you what I'm doing. I do not have proper equipment, people, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. I just be trying. That's what I be doing. And here we are. It's Sunday. Some people say Sunday fun day. And I don't know what I would call it, okay? Sunday go to meeting time, and so far I don't go meet. I just kind of meet you guys here. And I know I haven't been consistent as far as putting videos out. I lay my love on you. I know that gets old too. I can't help myself. It's in my head and it just comes out. Okay, so I have sewn all the way around. Let me pull this thread out. Where'd I put it? I'm going to try something different. Lay my love on you. Okay. Now, first thing I'm going to do is pull these strings to the back. And then I think I better get a different pair of scissors out. And yeah, I've seen that too. I'm going to do that. In other words, I saw a video yesterday where the lady had spring assisted scissors. Because, I mean, it can really hurt your hands, and especially if you're going to be cutting through a bunch of stuff. So, here I are. This is 2 layers of batting and 2 layers of fabric. And I'm sure you've probably already been watching videos. And if you are sewing and you have this situation and you want to turn it inside out, well, you need to give an assist. So, here on the corner, we're going to make a diagonal cut, making sure that you do not go through your seam, because that would be not good because it would unravel. Your stitching would come undone. Okay, so the next thing that we're doing, and I was doing this before someone told me to, but the point is right here by the corner, you got all this bulky stuff. Okay, and we're going to try to turn it inside out and make that be a point. So what we're going to do here is cut a little bit more. So that that corner has a chance of looking good. You do need to be careful when you turn these things inside out and then you're poking at that corner. If you're not careful, you'll go right through it. Okay. I lay my love on you. Got to change that. I want an Alexa up here. I'm still in the experimental stage, guys, okay? But I do know, I mean, you've got your pros and cons. Oh, that hurts. When you do it like this, that's the same thing you would do if you wanted to make a couch pillow. You'd make it huge. And I don't need to be so persnickety. You know that word. In other words, some people use other words, but you don't need to be such a perfectionist about some things. And I do need to get those scissors. I will do that. Okay, so I have trimmed it all the way around. And then I have left this opening so I can get in there and turn it inside out. And then I'm going to show you what I've done. I'll lay my love on you. I leave a bigger hole. Okay, if you don't leave a bigger hole, you really got a problem. But you wanna sew it on either side. Where you're going to turn it inside out, you don't want to do it from the edge to the middle. You want to do it in the middle of the seam. I think he's going to be excited. If he wants to know where the white is, I'll say it's on the inside. That's not white either. That's beige. Do, 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 do. But these are cool. Really neato. And see, it'd make it better if I would go in and press it. Because then it'll lay flat. It'll be easier to sew. And you won't make a mistake, maybe. Notice I said maybe. Okay. So, without it being pressed, there it is. And I just put brown on the back. And that's it's actually called henna. And when I bought this color, I was trying to get something that would be like burgundy, because I couldn't find burgundy. And then a lot of us have different ideas as to what burgundy is. So my bones be giving me trouble. So anything that's going to pull on my bones and ligaments and stuff, I might not want to be doing. And then I think I'll do a bigger top stitch. But that's pretty neat, don't you think? Yes, you do. Okay. Well, I know that I do. And that's from those 3.5-inch strips. Okay, so but the problem with the 3.5-inch strips is by the time I got to doing them, they're all crooked. So this is what I ended up with, because I cut them to 6-inch square before I sewed this. But in the meantime, you could take a bunch of these and lay them together, either side, and just stitch them together. That is a project that you can do a little bit at a time. Just make a whole bunch of squares. But I must say that I really liked what that person did the other day, which is the one I was telling you about, where it's like each individual square has its own binding, and then you just stitch that together. But then there's the other quilt. See, I'm really liking this rag quilt thing. And what she said, this one person anyway, that on those days when you're wrapping up, watching a game or whatever you're doing, you're wrapping up in your blanket, she said that's the one everybody wants. That is the quilt that everybody wants, the rag quilt. So it's comfortable, it's squishy, it's warm. But I like this. That's really neato. Neato keen, cool and everything. So then I've got these other things. I showed them to you before. The puppy dogs and the kitty kitties. I bought extra material. So I'm going to put a top stitch around this, and you don't have to. What you could do is just go ahead. You can see this part right here. This is where it has to be stitched up. And you could take a needle and thread and just do that and leave it you don't have to top stitch it. But I think top stitching it will help hold its place. I'm trying to get the material into the corner without having to poke it. And I've already closed it up, so I definitely don't want to go poke it. I lay my love on you. It's all I want to do. Okay. So where's a black and red one? Let's see. Black and red, black and red. Okay, I think that's one right there. Okay. I put a bunch of these together. Well, it's not really a bunch, but I put some of these together last night. See, so it's all a matter of opinion. This one layer of quilt batting is all you need for your quilt. But I saw a video where she made a big pot holder, hot pad, that you put in the middle of the table, and it'll fit your casserole dish. This goes in and out because it wants to stop that. Arr. I know, I'm so silly. Okay, so let's see. Where should I start? So I've already got it figured out. Right there. Right there, right there. Let's see, what have I got? Okay, so the rag quilt. Pretty wonderful. And I could do them with these squares too. So for 6x6, when you lose so much of it, you need a bigger square. Like maybe it just depends. Now I'm talking the rag quilt, because on the rag quilt she wants you to take a 1/2 inch seam. That's what you're going to be clipping and washing so it'll fray. And a 1/4 inch is just not big enough. And right now what I'm doing is 3/8 of an inch. I figured that's a good compromise. But I do like that idea of the encased, totally encased square where they're all the same size. And you just go back at your leisure and put them together. You know, like you sit on the couch and crochet, something for your hands to do. I just hope my hands will hold out for me. I really messed up the other day. Okay, let's get that out of there. You don't know it's a problem until you do it. Meaning, I pulled so hard. I pulled so hard that all these tendons in there, all of it, and then here, just, I don't know how to describe it, but I really hurt it. And so it's still hurting when I go to try and use it. And that was all to get that arm to go up and down on that first sewing machine, okay? So then I started on Jessica's machine. And that arm goes up and down so smooth, so nice. But then I was having a problem with, it breaking my yarn. I'm calling it yarn. My thread. It was getting caught in the tension plate. Not really a plate. That circle thing with numbers on it tells you the tension. You loosen it or tighten it. Anyway, it just kept getting stuck in there. So it would break my thread. And I have a hard time threading the needle because I can't see that good. Okay? I've got to have something to help me. So anyway, I certainly didn't want my thread breaking all the time. I was trying to figure it out, but I just got tired of figuring things out. I hurt myself, you know. Hurt myself on that first machine. And the second one was breaking my thread, and what else? Seemed like there was one other thing, but I had to mess with the tension. I didn't want to do that. All right. But it all got me to where I brought out my sewing machine from my car, which is another neato story. My sister told me about these pay nothing pages on Facebook. So you join those, and then you just let it be known what it is you're looking for. Or someone else will have something they just want to get rid of. And it lets people know. So, pretty neato. Pretty neato. Let's see, I'm going to lift that and go up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to start. There's different things that have been suggested that I find neat. In other words, I used to always, and I have to get out of that habit, back stitch, lock your stitches in, but I would go forward and then backward and then forward again. So that's 3 times. Whereas you can just go further on the fabric than you want to and back stitch first and then stitch forward, and then you've only got 2 sets of strings. All right, so I'm going to try this again, and I want to back stitch first. Oh, that's neat. All right. You went 1 stitch too far, little one, but not really. So I started to tell you the story about this sewing machine, okay? So I put it out there that I needed a sewing machine. And this Pay Nothing pages. Oh, so shocked. I got a call. So this sewing machine is just wonderful. Super nice. I mean, I don't know what it costs brand new. It's called Project Runway Limited Edition. So Runway is for fashion. So I can be able to do that too. And it's got 99 different stitches. And then it's also, trying to remember the word because I couldn't remember the word earlier. Digital. It's digital. So I can see things written in digital form. Okay. I know I take too long. I'm going to try to get this done so I can show you a different one. Oh, that's what it was doing. It was gathering. As it sewed, it was gathering the fabric behind it. And the pressure feet, I think she called it foot dog. Foot dogs, I don't know. Anyway, it was like gathering the material but not letting it go. I don't know what it was doing. All I know is my head was hurting with all this trying to figure stuff out. And I'm excited now that I got my machine out from Washington. I mean, I brought it, it sat in my car through the winter. And then I went and got my car, and I just barely got it out of my car, my sewing machine. I asked my grandson to come and help me get it out. And see, they know things. They know things that we don't know. Because I'm sitting here trying to unload the trunk to get to the sewing machine. And the sewing machine is way up in the back. So you know what he did? He went and opened the door while I'm unpacking the car. He went and opened the back door and pulled something down the seat, pulled it out, and put it back up. I mean, lickety-split. I wouldn't have known to do that. I just knew that I couldn't lift it and bring it in. I needed help. Okay, so we need another song. So I won't drive you guys crazy. It's pretty bad when you start to drive your own self crazy. But I am excited about these things. And I'm thinking, since it has double padding, I don't think I'm going to need to worry about quilting. And if I was to quilt, I would have to do the same thing I did before. Oh, you wanted to see what I was doing. Oh, I don't think you can see, and I don't want to lose my camera. Da-dum, da-da-da-dum. Yes, there's a few songs that I like that someone turned me on to. Perfect by Ed Sheeran, is that his name? Sharon? See, I don't know. What I do know is the first time that I listened to that song and I danced to it, it made me cry. And I was dancing to it by myself, okay? With my love interest. But it made me cry. So that's a really great song. Do, 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 do. Now, come on, I pushed you in. Okay, there. That's good enough. I think, I hope. And I forget these things have cutters. So I don't even have to grab my scissors. I'll need to remember that. Okay, so what you see, that right there. Now, I was talking about that earlier, saying you need to have that on both sides. Because when you turn this inside out, that gives you the place. I mean, you can pull it tight, press it in place, or pin it in place. But that is the place. It will help you tuck your stuff in where it'll be square. So you don't want to do it on the end and then have to try and get all these layers in there. That would just be not cool. So I'm going to do it again. We're going to cut across the corner. I'm going to go all the way around first. Cut across the corner. Da-dum. Yes. Da-dum. Okay. Everybody's different. And that was, I know I should teach sewing. First, I got to teach myself again. But I was telling you, that when you're taking sewing in school, they teach you everything the hard way. And then you find out later that there's easier ways to do stuff. But it's like you need to learn the basics before you can take the shortcuts. I don't know if that makes sense, people, but it's true. Like I was talking about the sleeve. You can take a sleeve out and put another sleeve in. But there's an easy way. In other words, in school, you had this armhole. And then you had this sleeve you had to fit in the armhole. And you needed to gather it in just the right places and fit it in there. Okay, well, that's not how I put sleeves in. And I haven't done it in years, but with the front and the back sewn together at the shoulders, you lay it out flat, then you've got your armhole cut, right? And then you've got your sleeve. So when you gather it, you can inch it in easier. You don't have to work in this little teeny circle. You can work in a flat area. I mean, not necessarily flat, but you know what I mean. Opened up makes it a lot easier. Trust me. Anyway, so I'm going to go back now. What I did, guys, I mean, I do things different every time, and I'm not sure how I want to do it. And I do have a headache today. In other words, this was bigger across here. It's more like this. how deep this is. See how I cut it down to that over here. Okay, well, on this side, I'm just going to take an angle in to that corner piece so that when we turn it around, you won't have so much stuff in the way. I don't know if I should even be cutting it off that much. Okay, so for now, I'm going to take and turn this around and see what happens. It's going to be pretty. Because the brown one was. But this is red and black. Do, 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 do. Jam a crack corn and I don't care. Don't know what that means. Do, do, do. Anybody out there watch Roswell? That's a pretty good show. I watched it a long time ago. And I don't know if it had all the seasons that it does now when I was watching it or not. Okay, come on, get on out there. See, I'm taking it and going just like that. Weaseling it, see, is not pointed. No, it's pointed, kind of, sort of. Do, 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 do. Now, I just recently saw someone who, she went ahead and did, and it probably was, I don't know how big it was, because she could have said 5/8. Okay, so here's my open hole, okay. So when you pull this straight, you can see where it needs to fold into. And if you take it to the ironing board and press it, that's what they've said, it's a lot easier to sew. Da-dum, dum, dum, dum. Yes, I need to take a trial run and go find my church. I think I saw where it meets at 11:30. And it might be that there's only one ward meeting in that church. Red and black. Now, these don't go good together, but if you were to mix a whole bunch of colors, it wouldn't matter, right? Now, the back of this one is black. Back of this one is brown. I'm excited. So if I don't like pulling on my fingers so much, it is true. And what they've said is to save your scraps. And one person said, and what I'm talking about, yeah, we want to save all of our scraps, but I mean these things that I've been cutting off are real nice and soft. And they were saying stuff a little stuffed toy. You know, make a stuffed toy and then you can stuff it with your trim. All right, what have I got now? See, now that's got quilting, basically. Not really, because it's not quilted to the back, but I don't know. I'm going to do the top stitch on it, And that might just be sufficient. So I don't think I could sew all the way through it. I could do something they call stitch in the ditch, which means put a seam right down here and a seam right down here. And then we'll go through to the back. And that is a thought. I'm excited. I do like the bigger coaster. Okay, so now what do we got? I got some, it's called lapis. One of my favorite colors. I call it royal blue. So this one is my puppy dogs. So one side will be puppy dogs and the other side will be lapis blue. Let me see if I can show you that too. I should thaw out some sausage. Okay. The puppy dogs and the kitties are so cute. Oh, let's get that out of there. Do-do-dum. I will follow him. Follow him wherever he may go. Okay, what have I got here? Seems like I have a mess. No. Okay. I do know. I have a hard time listening to videos all the way through. And I saw one the other day. I mean, there's been several by the church that I've wanted to listen more, but I just can't make myself stay still. But I saw that the hymn books are changing. I don't know why, how, I mean, you know. I do know that it's been a long time since that was put together, so maybe they're going to update. I know that when I was in primary trying to teach music to those kids, trying to teach them the songs, okay? I didn't know the songs myself, and so how am I supposed to be teaching them? But then I couldn't stop myself from crying. So there you go. I had a problem. I still do. But I mean, when you're trying to teach these little kids a song, but you're crying, you can't really teach them very well. Super. Okay, so I need to move some stuff. I've got too much stuff on my desk and in my room. Excuse me, pardon me, not like that. Okay. Let's see what I can do here without speeding down the runway here. Anyway, this is a really nice machine, and I'm glad that I kept having problems, because I would have been using a different machine, and this one would have been out in my car forever. And this one is really nice. I mean, she told me the only reason she was letting it go is because the automatic threader didn't work. Okay. I don't know why that thing is there. But I figured, okay, I can thread the machine. Although, I don't know if I can or not anymore. But I just love this thing. And it's wonderful. So I don't want to have any problems with it. Let's put it that way. Okay, come on. Okay. I'm on my last leg, meaning the part where I'm going to sew a little teeny bit. Then I'm going to okay. And I'm done. Yay. Done for a second. Okay. So we'll do another. Okay. What is that? This piece of material. Okay. This is definitely not perfect. That's weird. All right. So it's kind of a square. And I did do that on purpose because down here it's off. Okay. So. Two. All right, so we cut off our 4 edges. Okay, on the part where you're gonna put it together, you want to leave it big. In other words, big across this part, across here. And then I'm going to still cut into the corner. All right, that's good enough. I didn't do that one. Okay. Nose itchy. Do. This is going to be cute. Unless it's the kitties, it'll still be cute. I've got puppies and kitties. You definitely need to leave a big enough hole to get this stuff through. You turn it inside out. and some birds. Aw, you can only see. See the puppy. Then you only got part of a puppy and some more parts. There's a little nose. But anyway, it's a nice sized little coaster. So, there's the coaster now. It's just a little bit bigger, not really that much. 6.5-inch squares might have been the better way to go. So that way I'd end up with a 6-inch square. But still. And then the other thing is, like I said, all right, so where's the kitty? I need some real food. I've got some stuff downstairs waiting for me to make. Okay, where's the kitty? Kitty. Ow. All I know is I need to eat. Ow! Well, that's not it. They're all going to be beautiful. I just don't know if I want to spend my time making coasters. There's another one like that one. Oh, and there's that one. There. Okay. I could have swore I had kitties. Like that one. Yep. That one be the kitties. Let's see. If I wanted to do the backing, I don't think I do, not with this size anyway. Ow. Anyway, you guys are getting the idea. I know, I did a bad thing. You know, they have me on blood pressure medicine. And then I saw something online talking about 5 different blood pressure medicines that have been put through that were made somehow toxic. So here I am. I'm on blood pressure medicine. What's the deal? So then I quit taking it. But I got a feeling that's why I have a headache. Part of it. Part of it is not eating correctly and putting sweet stuff into my system without the other stuff. So anyway, I'm doing really well in some areas, but with the blood pressure thing, I just put a pill in my mouth earlier. So I don't know how long it'll take. And I don't know if that's really the factor because, you know, I have things on my mind and then I have not eating correctly. I'm going to go ahead and do the kitty. And then I'm going to rethink all this stuff. Because I really do like the idea of the rag quilts, but I will need bigger squares for that. But you can do it with little squares too. And then they're also showing patchwork pillows and all kinds of things you can make patchwork stuff. Anyway, so let's just see. Where are we? Let's go up a little further. Okay. Then I'm going to start with a reverse. Anyway, this is a much nicer machine. So I'm blessed that I have it. It really was a blessing. And it was on the Pay Nothing pages. This was up in Kennewick, where my dad lived. But what a blessing. Okay? So far, it's pretty wonderful. Simply marvelous. Okay, let's see where we can go with this thing. Anyway, I guess what I started to say is I heard the hymn book is changing. And when I was in primary trying to teach these songs to the little kids, they were new songs to me. I didn't know them. And there was one song that always made me cry. It still does. And that is, I think it's called A Child's Prayer. It says, Heavenly Father, are you really there? Do you hear and answer every child's prayer? Some say that heaven is far away, but I feel you close around me as I pray. Okay. I'm sitting here falling asleep, huh? Right there on camera. One more. I love this machine. Please continue to work good. Just be marvelous. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It almost looked like I didn't have a thread in the needle, but I see it. Thank goodness. That's wonderful. As long as I hold on this button, there's this button up here that's got a circle. That's the backup thread. As long as I held that button in, it kept going. So I did all those back stitches. Do, 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 do. So that's looking better as far as the square goes. Okay. Don't want to get too close to that corner. But we do want to cut that stuff away. Okay, so have to make some stuffed dolls. I can't talk. Have to make some stuffed toys or something I can stuff my scraps in, right? Okay, here we go. Let's see what we can see. Guess I could trim that a little better. Yes, I'm going to be getting some tools that will help. Okay. Lay my love on you. Come on, get out there. Anyway, so other ideas that I had, was bean bags for little kids to be able to throw. Play catch. And this, having double padding would make it softer. It's a good idea. Okay. We'll call it good. Okay, so you see, I got to pull it together. But you just fold it over and pull it tight. Ow. Well, see, that didn't really hurt. I was expecting it to hurt. So, before I put the top stitch on here, I'm going to go press them so that they're easy to stitch. They're a lot easier to stitch when they're pressed. Okay. Yep. Blood. More. Dagnabbit. I need a little piece of Kleenex or something to rub my blood on. Dang it. Ah, I found something. Yay. I didn't want to get it on my material. Okay, so I've been on here way too long. Hour and 17 minutes. I had an instant breakfast, but it took me forever to drink it. Okay, people. So you just picture it in different ways. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. There's another kitty right there. You can't hardly see him. He's black. And then some pretty flowers. And then I made the back in the lapis. Walmart's colored lapis. That's what that is. That's beautiful. Puppy dogs and kitty kitties. So if you sewed those together, you'd have a blue back. That could still work, but I'm not I'm not sure that I want to do that. But it is a possibility for sure. And then I don't know, maybe that could be a project you could do with your daughter or your son. Sewing is a good talent. You know, there's a lot of talents out there that we could have, but sewing is one. Cooking. I can cook, but not that great. And the problem I have is trying to make it come out hot all at the same time. If you're putting a meal together, I'm not good at any of that, but I'm sure I could be taught. So I just made 4 coasters. Seems to be a slow process, but a lot of it's because I'm talking. Oh, I love my machine. Let me show it to you better. I'll pick you up. Can you see it? All those stitches. And then it says Project Runway, limited edition. And I don't know why this is so dark. But anyway, brother. 25-year limited parts warranty. I mean, that's pretty good, don't you think? It'll outlast the people who put it out, probably. I mean, for years to come, I mean, because I'm pretty sure Brother has been around forever. And Kenmore, see, I'm thinking they're kind of like the same brand. They're both Sears, anyway, from what I recall. I just love those things. And that would work. So it's a pain in the butt. But see, the binding might be just as much of a pain in the butt. However, the squares would be bigger, and then they would be framed. So we'll see what I do. But today is Sunday, which means I should do something that has to do with God, right? Keeping the Sabbath day holy. Just love each other. That's the best thing you can do. and an essential thing that you should do. I'm just telling you, okay? I'm just going to tell you. You need the church. You need the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yes, they were known and may still be known as Mormons. That guy, Mormon, is a wonderful guy. And he pulled it all together. What am I trying to say? He took the records and pulled out the important things so that we could have them. The sacred and important things. And when I say important, there's ordinances. There's all kinds of neat stuff in that Book of Mormon, people. And there's even a record of Jesus Christ visiting the Americas after he was done in Jerusalem. And there's a record of the things happened that when he was born and when he died and all kinds of things that was going on over here. You know, like the like the earth erupting. When he was dying on the cross, over here was massive destruction going on. Those cities and maybe territories, I don't know, but those that were responsible for stoning the prophets, for killing the prophets, they got their up and comings. Now, you wouldn't think it's their up and comings because, you know, probably this was way long time after that, but it was their posterity paid. Their posterity paid the price. Plus, they were all I don't know, they were just evil, okay? They chose evil over good. I'm excited. I'm excited about the possibilities that's coming. But I think I probably ought to go and let you guys go. And I'll put some more together and put the top stitching on those and see what we come up with. I've got a lot of thinking to do. Anyway, you guys take care. Have a great day. And I will talk at you later. Maybe once again today. Maybe I should get on here and do a reading. I haven't done that in a while. So, take care. Make yourself smile. Bye.